All right. Well, this is actually exciting. So, as you know, Cedric Richmond was appointed to. What was Richmond appointed to for in the Biden cabinet?
Senior advisor and something else.
And
but he's a senior advisor.
Right. And so it is so that seat in Louisiana, second district, is now vacant. There's going to be a special election. And we played a clip from this guy. His name is Garry Chambers. And he had really, it was a really impressive confrontation. The clip went viral with I think it was the city council there. And he has announced that he's running for Congress. And let's check this out. This is his first ad.
Most of you know me from this video with Connie.
So I had intended to get up here and talk about how racist Robert E. Lee was, but I'm gonna talk about you, Connie. Sitting over there shopping while we talking about Robert E. Lee.
But I'm gonna talk about Louisiana today. The people of Baton Rouge know me for fighting for health care access in North Baton Rouge, helping change the name of Lee High School to Liberty High, fighting to keep the zoo in North Baton Rouge, and a $300 million investment coming to a divested community. Because change doesn't just happen, we fight to make change happen. Most of your run-of-the-mill politicians, career politicians, will tell you we're doing a great job. But the truth is, we understand that they haven't been taking care of the health, welfare, and the safety of our community. The numbers don't lie. Folks that grew up on streets like this, on Oreo, like me and my complex family story. My mother committed suicide when I was 2 months old, and my father struggled with alcoholism. So my village stepped in, and my aunt and uncle became my mother and father. And communities like Oreo Street and all over this country understand that our fight for change requires that we come together the same way my family did to help bring me forth. We've got to bring our state forward so our children have a state that they can live in, thrive in, and prosper in instead of leaving for what they see as greener pastures. We've got to fight for clean air and green jobs because we understand with the closure of Shell in Convent and the hundreds of jobs that we're losing, if we marry our state to one industry, we are married to their prosperity or their demise. And the future of jobs for our children requires that we look at the Green New Deal. This global pandemic that has shown us the inequities that exist in our healthcare system means that we have to fight for Medicare for all, to give every American a fair shot when they get sick. The truth is, profit should not be the determining factor of the quality of care you get when you go see a physician. It should be about health care and serving people. You have inspired me to jump into this race, to go and fight in Washington for change for all people. I am unapologetic in my positions and unafraid to speak truth to power. It's what I know how to do best, and it's what we need in D.C. What I'm asking you to do is take this journey with me, from East Baton Rouge to West Baton Rouge.
All right. Yeah. I want to
love this guy.
People check it out.
I love this guy.
Google it. But yeah, I mean, this is another guy who's going to be a very, if he can win in this district, another guy who's going to be very, very progressive in the House. And this is how you build it. It's very slow. It's one at a time. But and you build every person you add to the squad or squad adjacent essentially ends up inspiring other people to run, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is how you begin to sort of create some type of velocity.
Yeah.
Right.
And thank you to Biden for opening up the seat for a more progressive candidate for appointing Cedric Richmond. I mean, Richmond took so much money from fossil fuel industries, and to have a candidate coming out and framing the Green New Deal in 2 sentences in a way that's digestible for people specific to Louisiana about you could apply this to the coal industry in West Virginia. You can apply this argument to all these other states that are way too reliant on, fracking, for example, in Pennsylvania. Say you want to make the argument in Western Pennsylvania. There is a way to talk about the Green New Deal as economic opportunity for people that's succinct, that's easily digestible, and that just makes sense. And he did that within a breath.
I remember when Obama appointed Janet Napolitano to Homeland Security, and she was a Democrat in Arizona, and we know how Arizona turned this year. That was 10 years ago, right? More than 10 years ago at this point. And it left Republican governors, a legacy of Republican governors. And I do want to call attention to that Biden has been very thoughtful about his appointments when it comes to people in the office and creating space for it's Democratic seats, it's safe Democratic seats. But that is the power of really challenging these conservative Democrats is they often represent highly Democratic seats, very Democratic seats. And they include a lot more progressives. And in a case like this one, this is a district that has not received the resources, very similar to Cori Bush. Her district had just not received the resources it deserved and needed, it was paying into, and had been neglected. And so it's really powerful to see him step up. And that takes a tremendous amount of courage, guys. I know we talk about this all the time, but 2 years ago, Ro Khanna was saying he was a lonely voice in Congress, even in the Progressive Caucus. And now how many do we have? How many squad members? How many? It's little by little, but it's actually quite a bit of movement in the last 2 years.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We should primary all of them, though, anyway.
I mean.
Oh, you mean the squad? Yeah, they're sellouts. Are we allowed to say that as MSNBC? I didn't get the memo today, guys. I was a little late to the party.
I'm the one who's restricted by MSNBC. I believe it is you are restricted by the CIA.
Oh, right. Shit.
That's wrong.
I missed my last meeting.
You have the wrong.
And NATO pays me through TYT.
I get the residuals from there.
Someone just IM'd. I didn't catch who it was, but along those lines, in terms of Biden, it would be nice. Like, this is the one time I'd be like, let's. Okay, you put in Gina Raimondo. I think there's a rumor that she's going to be made Commerce Secretary. What I'd like to see is what about Susan Collins? How about offering up her? How about a new, whatever it is.
What's the weakest cabinet post?
Yes, exactly. Can we create one? Department of Republicans. There you go. Republican outreach.
Well, I think they Sam Brownback was made when they tried to they were so embarrassed by Sam Brownback's work in Kansas, they made him the ambassador to faith. Literally.
To faith?
Wait, yes. Who did?
I think it was under Trump. I think they wanted to get Brownback out of there so badly. They made him the ambassador to faith. I think it is.
So
somebody look that up.
Pope. He's the guy who speaks to God.
He speaks to faith.
Right, Faith Hill.
I think they're missing the point of putting someone in exile. You gotta send him far away to an island.
I misspoke. He is the ambassador at large for international religious freedom. And so I'm thinking you do something like that with Collins, right? Or somewhere where you think you can get a pickup on a seat like that. And that she could be the ambassador to goodwill, international goodwillism or something.
The commander of the Space Force.
Yeah, or adjacent.